Feel like there's nothing worse than being Mexican American. For those who don't know, Mexicans are American. So why do we have to say Mexican American? I'd rather just say I am Mexican. No one has got screwed over more than Mexicans. Number one, we got screwed by the Spanish. Second, we got screwed by the Europeans. Our land got stolen from us. Land that we stole from the Native Americans, which we happen to be. So we stole the land from ourselves. This is this is why it's very complicated to say what a Mexican American is. I feel like Mexican Americans were not represented that well in Hollywood because we were not allowed to be in it. So nothing is worse than being Mexican American. The only thing we have going for us is we have a citizenship which can easily be revoked and we can be shipped to Mexico without papers. Throughout history, you do not see Mexican Americans that much because we were hidden from history. A lot of people don't know that California, New Mexico, and Texas and Arizona, even Nevada, was part of Mexico called Alto Mexico. That was taken away. And 10 years later, all the gold in our mountains were taken away by the government. So it's a real weird feeling being Mexican American. You're kind of in the shadows. You're the majority in the United States, but you're called a minority. So it's kind of weird. And when you look at the history, Mexicans are declining and white people are increasing. How is that even possible? It's because of massive genocides. That's why. I feel like Mexican American is really a blessing and a curse. It shouldn't be a curse though, because most Mexicans are pretty cool. We are very educated. We know two languages, English and Spanish. That means we can understand twice as much as the world than other people. Yet we get paid half as much, or sometimes a quarter as much, because we start to see that money was not really meant to benefit Mexican Americans or Mexicans at all. No one respects you for being a Mexican because you're known as a laborer. So even if you become a doctor or you become rich and famous, people always think that you work at the restaurant that you are eating in. It does not matter how fancy the restaurant is. You can be eating at a 5-star restaurant and someone would ask you to seat them. Now, no one automatically thinks that of white people. So I feel like I really got fucking screwed by being Mexican American. Nevertheless, very proud to be Mexican American or Mexican. I'm more proud to be Mexican than I am to be American or United Statesian. And why would I say I'm more proud to be Mexican than United States is because Mexicans um, basically got everything stolen from them by white people, but they never stole anything back. They created their own stuff. This is kind of why you can put Mexicans in the desert, you could put them in all kinds of areas, and they'll learn to adapt and survive. The thing that kills them is that people kill them. They don't die on their own, they can survive. We could live off of cactuses. That's even in the flag of Mexico. You can eat those cactuses. And we could make knives, we can make bowls, we can make things out of the ground. We don't really need resources because we know what to take from the land and what's edible and what can be used for making pottery and building houses. There is one thing that Mexicans do not do well, and that is precision and quality. And this is what makes things artistic. Once you do something, once you start calculating and start to make things with precision, you lose the artistic value of it. You lose the uniqueness of it, and now you just have something that's manufactured. Something that is boring and dull. Might be exciting, very exciting for about a few minutes, but it will not be exciting over and over again. You might get tired of it because it's precision, it's common, and it's mass produced, so its value starts to depreciate very fast. Now, this is not the case with everything, but like automotive, auto, a bunch of automobiles, they start off expensive, but they really do depreciate very quickly. So there's kind of an illusion of value there, which most people fall for. But what they're falling for is the newness of it and the trickery. And once a person goes through it once, they won't go through it twice. That's why it only takes one new car to make a person see that buying new cars are not worth it. But back to being Mexican American, I found it very weird that we were hid from American history, and I wondered why. You can't study history without hating white people and understanding white people and understanding what a parasitic type of people they really are. Now, this is not an insult. This is like a fact. White people are parasitic towards other human, which doesn't make them human. It makes them something else. It makes them a parasite, I guess, because they feed off of other humans. So what are other humans? Other humans are creators, are builders, are makers, but a parasite feeds off of makers and builders, and all it's doing is eating the worker, the creator. Is this good for humanity? People are starting to see that it's not beneficial for humanity to have parasites with them living. Just like parasites and viruses, they must be eradicated, yet they will never go away. There must be some sort of purpose for a parasite or a virus. And perhaps that purpose is to keep people aware, because parasites do not stop feeding on humans. So this makes me wonder, in evolution, even though we are all human and we all have organs, not all humans are the same, and we evolve differently and we evolve separately. And sometimes skin color does not really define what we become. But what I've seen was that most often than not, it is a light-skinned person that has this parasitic complex where they are superior to a being, and they can feed and eat off a parasite without working. Now they say we do work, but their work is parasitic. Their work is to feed off of others, and that's how they work. And they say we're working, but I say no, humans are creating and humans are laboring, pushing and pulling for the better of humanity. And a parasite will never understand that it's a parasite. So it must be identified and eradicated. Now, am I going to be the one that eradicates the parasites? No, I'm not. Eventually, someone with power, someone that is sick of parasites, is going to eradicate the parasites. But they might kill the host as well. Because if you have a host that is consumed by parasites, you don't save the host because it's disgusting. The host is disgusting because the host allowed the parasite to live. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say I was filled with maggots and my whole body was consumed with maggots, and I never cleaned my body, and I allowed those maggots to feed on me, on my dead corpse. Those maggots are a type of parasite that are feeding off of me, and I am the host. If I allowed this to go on, someone sees me and I'm being consumed by maggots, they will burn me alive. Because why would they try to save the host when the host is almost gone and completely consumed by maggots? I would just be suffering if I don't do something about it. That's why if you have gangrene or you have some sort of infection on your body, they cut off that part of your body. So if your whole body is filled with parasites, they're just going to cut off your life, probably burn you. So that's why it's important for some people to not let people that are parasitic live on, because sometimes the host also will die with it. No, it's not good to be a parasitic human. But I would have never known this if I have never seen the history, but I have seen signs. I have started to see that it's still going on to this day. There's still parasitic humans that are feeding off of the culture, feeding off of the information and the knowledge of others without giving credit, and just stealing information, resources, and stealing all kinds of things from people in a justified manner. Now, stealing is stealing whether you have a permit or whether you have a or whether you trick someone into signing something. Stealing is still stealing. When you give your child a ball, a brand new ball, and you send him to school, and one of his friends gave him an iron nickel for the ball and tricked him into accepting it. Yes, the child agreed to it, but the other child stole it from him or tricked him out of it. So just like humans, they can get tricked like children. So it's not right whether he signed a contract or whatever, he agreed on it. It was not right because he took advantage of a person. You tricked a person, you compelled them, you charmed them, and you tricked them into accepting a worse deal. Now, that doesn't happen here because companies trick people out of shit all the time, yet they never get punished. So we allow the parasites to get stronger. So pretty soon they're going to run out of hosts. What do we do then? The parasite will look for other hosts. So that's my thoughts right now.